Have you ever felt completely confused by English grammar? Like, it's too many rules to remember, it's too many things to learn. Well, that's gonna stop today because today you are about to learn the 5 most important grammar topics you need to communicate in English clearly, effectively, and with confidence, especially if you need to speak English at work and you just don't have the time, you don't have the months to spend studying grammar rules. Welcome back to English for Tech Professionals, the channel where we help you speak English with confidence at work and also with confidence in life. I'm Anna Contribura, your English and effective communication coach, and I would like to start by saying that English grammar has so many topics, it has so many nuances. It was actually difficult to choose just 5 topics for this video. However, after so many years of teaching English to professionals, I've identified 5 topics that make the biggest difference both in how fluent learners become and how well they are able to express themselves at work. I want you to think of these topics as your grammar foundation, okay? So once you have mastered them, you'll be able to learn more advanced grammar, more advanced constructions, and move toward a native level proficiency. But if you're not sure where to start, or if improving grammar feels overwhelming, like it's too much for you, start here. Focus on these 5 constructions, 5 tenses that I'm going to share in this video. And I promise they will have the greatest impact on your English skills. Okay, so the first tense from our list is present simple. It's a very basic English tense that we use to talk about routines and habits. So every time you need to answer the question, how often something happens, use present simple. Simple as that, right? We form present simple by using the basic verb, the basic form of the verb, and we add the ending s if the subject is he, she, or it, right? So for example, I do something, but he does something. I write something, but she writes something. So here's another example. I come to the office every day. This is routine. My manager comes to the office on Mondays. It's a routine action as well. Next up is present continuous. Now, this is the tense that we use to describe actions happening right now, at the moment, at the present moment, or that are currently ongoing, like currently happening. And to form the present continuous tense, we use am is are and the verb with the ing ending. So for example, I am doing something, he is doing something, they are doing something. It's always 2 parts, am is are and the ing ending. Here's an example. I am working from home today. I am filming from home today as well. He is starting a new project, or we are talking to a client right now. You see, happening right now. Here is a pro tip. If you are in a stand-up meeting and they ask you a question, what are you working on right now? It's present continuous. So you need to respond using the present continuous tense. What are you working right now? I'm working on this, or I'm fixing bug number 1500 or something like that. Moving on, and of course, we need a tense to describe past actions, and for that, we use past simple. To form the simple past, we need to use the verb in the second form if it's irregular, or with the ed ending if it's a regular verb. So you need to know irregular verbs to form this tense. Here's an example. I finished my project. It's regular verb, so that's why I say I finished my project. Or she bought a new computer. Buy, bought. Right. If you need to brush up to, remember, if you need to brush up on your irregular verbs, there is a link in the description where you can download a PDF file with the most common irregular verbs. So please use it, okay? And here is a pro tip about past simple tense. We use the past simple tense when we answer the question when something happened. For example, when did you see your team? I saw my team on Friday. And now you have to remember that every time there is a question when, and you're talking about the past, it's always going to be the past simple tense, because in English there are different past tenses, and you need to be careful. If there is a question with when, it's always past simple. To talk about future actions, we use future simple or going to, the construction going to. To form future simple, of course, it's super easy. Will plus verb, that's it. If you want to use the construction going to, you follow the following pattern. Am is are, going to, plus verb. For example, I will finish the project tomorrow. Future simple, right? We are going to go to Europe next month. Construction going to. Well, here's the thing. What is the difference between future simple and going to? We normally use future simple when we talk about our opinion. For example, I don't think they will agree to our proposal. I don't think, this is my opinion. Going to is used when we want to describe plans that we made at an earlier time before speaking, right? For example, I'm going to go on vacation next month. I planned this before I said it, right? So this is going to. However, in real life situations, these two constructions are almost interchangeable. So you can use either of them when you talk about your future plans or when you talk about opinions. Tense number 4 is present perfect. Are you scared yet? I know a lot of learners are scared of this tense, but it's you shouldn't be, because we use this tense when we want to talk about updates or recent news. In a stand-up meeting, what have you done so far? Give me your updates. You're going to say, I have completed the feature from our last sprint. Or you can say, Apple has announced a new iPhone. Recent news, right? To form present perfect, we start with have or has for he, she, it, and we use the third form of the irregular verb, or ed for the regular verb, right? So again, you really need to remember 3 forms of irregular verbs. Let's stop here for a minute. So right now we have covered 4 tenses, and already knowing these 4 tenses, you can speak in a stand-up meeting, because in a stand-up meeting, they're going to ask you 3 questions. Well, 3 questions, right? They're going to ask you, what have you done so far? What have you done? What tense is this? What have you done so far? Present perfect. And you answer again using present perfect. I have completed the feature from last sprint, for example. Question number 2 is going to be, what are you working on? What are you currently right now working on? Using what? Present continuous tense, because they want to know about current situation, right? Current ongoing action, and you're going to be answering this question using present continuous. So you're going to say, I am working on this new feature, for example. And question number 3 is going to be, what are you going to do next? Only knowing 4 tenses, but knowing them very well, you see, you are able to speak fluently in a stand-up meeting, in a work situation. That is why I'm telling you, you only need to know these 5, 1 more to go, but master them to the point that you don't need to think about when to use the this or that tense, and you will be fluent, and you will make fewer mistakes as well. Okay, tense number 5 is the present perfect continuous tense. Now, the present perfect continuous tense is the most complex of all that we have discussed, but hear me out. You need to know some nuances to understand how and when to use this tense. We use this tense when we talk about durations, but not just like any duration. We talk about durations that connect past with the present, right? So if you talk about the action that started in the past and it's still happening in the present moment, it's the present perfect continuous tense. Wow, the name is so long. The present perfect continuous tense, right? For example, I have been working as a software engineer for 5 years, meaning I started working 5 years ago and I am still working as a software engineer. Now, this tense is really necessary for your job interviews, or client interviews, when they're going to ask you questions that start with how long. How long is the key phrase for the present perfect continuous tense. How long have you been doing something? I have been doing something for that long, right? How long actually talks about the duration. To form present perfect continuous, we use have been or has been for he, she, it, and the verb with the ing ending. We combine present perfect and present continuous, and we have present perfect continuous. Now let's recap all of the tenses that we've learned in this video using two verbs for an example. We're going to use the verb create, which is a regular verb, and we're going to use the verb buy, which is an irregular verb. So follow me here now. I create websites as part of my job. Present simple. I am currently creating a website. Present continuous. I created this app last month. Past simple. I have created a landing page for the upcoming event. Present perfect. I will create a new meeting link for us. Future simple. I'm going to create a better onboarding experience for the users. Going to construction. I have been creating new designs all morning. Now it's your turn to identify which tense I'm using in the following examples. I often buy coffee. I'm at the store. I'm buying coffee right now. I bought a car 2 years ago. I have bought a new software tool for us to use. I will buy an office desk. I'm going to buy a new laptop. I have been buying a lot of gym equipment for my home gym lately. If you have identified which tenses I've used in these examples, now the second task for you, if you want something more difficult, if you want a challenge, another thing that you can do is to leave a comment why we use this specific tense in this specific sentence. For example, when you say, I've been buying, lots of gym equipment for my home gym lately, what is the tense here? Present perfect continuous. Why are we using it here? Because I started buying some time ago, lately, yeah, and I'm still doing it. So lately is a marker word here. So try to do this activity, and you will see this will get much, much clearer. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. Subscribe to English for Tech Professionals, of course, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another practical lesson to level up your English for work. Bye for now.